Hello BookTube Nation, I'm Sam here again with A Bear and a Bee Books, and today I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite videos to film of the year, and that is my Victober TBR. As you know, if you've been on my channel for a while, I live in Florida and I'm wearing my very fun Florida sweater today over my tank top dress because it actually did get into the 60s for us today, and I think that's why I wanted to film this today, because it's actually cold for us. So I love fall. I wish it would cool down. It's always so hot here, but I am the one who lives here, so right? But anyway, yeah, I hope that everyone's doing well. Fall started recently, and I hope that everyone's enjoying their fall. Victober, what is it? I'm sure most of you know, but if you don't, Victober is a month-long readathon. It's hosted by Katie at Books and Things, Kate at Kate How, and Lucy from Lucy the Reader, and I love them. I'm sure you're all subscribed to their channel, but if you're not, please go ahead and do so. They're wonderful. And I believe this will be my third year officially participating in Victober. But before I was making videos and before I was participating in a lot of readathons, I was a watcher. I used to watch lots and lots of YouTube. We had some tragedy in our lives back in like 2013, and one of the things I did was just watched a lot of BookTube because it made me feel better. So let's talk about what books I'm going to read. So I have way too many. Like, I haven't been reading nearly as much as I was at the beginning of the year. There is no way that I'm going to read all of these books. Like, it's not going to happen. But I figured, why not put them all on my TBR? Because then I have choices. And so it kind of went like this. Like, I had things I wanted to read in my head, and then the challenges came out, but I wanted to pick things for those too. And now I just have both. So let's go ahead and show you the books. So the first challenge I would like to discuss was Lucy's challenge, and that was to read like a diary or some letters. And the one I was able to get my hands on was Charlotte Bronte's Selected Letters by Oxford. This is the Oxford World Classics edition, and this is really pretty. And I am excited. I've never really read any of Charlotte Bronte's letters before, but here's what I'm concerned about. I've only read a Jane Eyre, and I've read a good chunk of Shirley, but I've never read The Professor or Villette, and I'm kind of worried about spoilers. So if you've read this edition or you have it, could you let me know down below if there are any spoilers in here for either Villette or The Professor, or like the end of Shirley, because I never finished that. I want to read it. I'm excited to read it, but I don't want to be spoiled. Speaking of Shirley, so Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. This is going to be the group read. It was the one that won as from the picks to read for the group read for Victober. And I'm really excited to finally finish this. I think I got almost a quarter of the way through or so. I was reading it on ebook though, and I really go through phases. I don't know if anybody else is like this, but sometimes I just really want to read a physical book, and sometimes I like reading on ebooks, and sometimes I like audiobooks. And 2020, they smell so good, has definitely been a year of wanting to read physical books for me. I don't know if it's because of like all the craziness that's been going on in the world, but I really just want the physical item in my hands. And so I think that was one reason I was struggling to finish it. Plus, I also get in these patterns. I don't know if this happens to you, but I want to participate in all these things and all these readathons, and then I'll start a book, and then the new readathon will start, but I was still finishing a book from last month, and then they get put on my shelf, and then I don't get to them. So it's not that I wasn't enjoying this. I was really enjoying it, and I'm excited it was the group selection, because now I have a reason to finish it. And I think I may start back at the beginning with this again. I'm not sure. I do remember what was happening, but just maybe to participate with everybody, I'll read along, even the portion that I already read. This novel is a lot about two young women and societal expectations, and I really think that this plays a lot on that theme. And like I said, I was only about 20 to 25% through it, but I'm really excited to see what it does. The characters weren't quite speaking to me yet, but I really liked the examination of that theme in this book, about like societal expectations, especially as how it relates to women. And the next book, I love this edition. Isn't it beautiful? So pretty. This is A Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, and this is for Katie's challenge, which is to read a book based on your favorite modern genre. So, or loosely, I'll link all their announcement videos below so you can watch the official Victober announcement videos. But yeah, I am really excited to get to this. I've read like the first few chapters before. I do that a lot. You'll find if you watch my channel, with books I own or books I'm thinking of buying, I read like the first chapter, a couple chapters, just to see if I like the writing style. Okay, so with this one, I picked it. She gave it as an example for YA, which I do like YA. I used to read it more often than I do now because I was previously working on a project for that. But my favorite, one of my favorite things to read is coming of age stories. And whether it's YA or adult fiction, anything that has a coming of age story, really I'm interested in. And this is a Victorian coming of age story. So yeah, I know that this is one of his more popular ones, and these characters are kind of infused in our culture, and I want to be part of the discussion. So I want to get to this one. Plus, this is the last book I had on my like classics trinity that I did at the beginning of the year. I'll link that down below. I will probably review all three for you once I've read this, because this is the last one. This one is about, I believe, a young man who has a change in circumstances and he changes class. And yeah, so I'm just really excited to see how this goes. And this is for Kate Howe's challenge, and her challenge was to select a book that, or a short story, that is from one of your favorite Victorian authors. I'll be reading The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. So this is kind of to complete all the Brontes, but this will finish Anne Bronte for me, so don't get too excited though, because she only wrote 2 books. So I read Agnes Gray, I think the very first year I officially participated in Victober, and I really enjoyed it. And this one is supposed to be much better, I've heard, and so I want to give it a chance. From what I know, it's about a woman who leaves a very unhealthy marriage and attempts to start her life over in a new place, and it's about her interactions with one of the gentlemen that live in that area, and it just goes on from there. I've heard that it's gothic, I've heard that it's a bit feminist, so yeah. And then for the readers challenge, was to read a book that has was either on a previous Victober TBR that you didn't get a chance to get to, or one that's really been staring at you if you don't have anything for that. So my very first October I participated, I was supposed to read The Moorland Cottage by Elizabeth Gaskell, and I just didn't get to it. And it is a short novella, and I really like Elizabeth Gaskell. Out of her main novels, I've only read Ruth, but I have read a couple of her other shorter novella size works, and I really liked Lois the Witch. I'm from Massachusetts, and so I found that really fascinating. I'm really excited to get to this. I'm really happy to have a physical copy. I know that some of her shorter works are harder to get. I think maybe George Eliot patterned her Mill on the Floss after this, but I'm not 100%. Let me know if that's wrong down below. I think that's what I remember. This has a lot to do with family, I think, and sibling relationships and how that can be really complicated. So I'm excited to check this one out. Okay, so I believe those are all the books I have that fit different challenges. They're also doing like a wear a Victorian style thing while you read. And I can only think of maybe a ring I have. I don't even know if I can find. I have a lot of stuff packed away, so I don't know that I'll get a chance to do that. But if something comes, I do have an accessory that might have been in a woman's bag, or maybe like if she was traveling. I'm stretching. It would have been on her desk. So maybe I'll like put it next to me while I'm reading, and then I'll show it to you guys. Okay, so I have a bunch of other books that I just wanted to read, and I'm gonna put them on here and we'll see how that goes. So I have this. Now I'm not gonna read all of, some of these are like, they're collections, and so they have like a lot of different authors in them. So I'm not going to read everything from all of these, but there are some that are really interesting to me. So like this one is Classic Ghost Stories, a collection of chilling supernatural tales. Who's the editor on this one? Oh, this is edited by Robin Brockman. This one has the old nurse's story in it, which I really want to get to. Like I mentioned, I really like Gaskell, and I'm in the mood to read kind of creepy fall stuff right now. So there's a couple others in here. There's The Captain of the Pole Star by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. There's The Haunted Mill or the Ruined House by Jerome K. Jerome. The Goblins Who Stole a Sexton by Charles Dickens. So there's quite a few Victorian short horror stories in here, or thrilling stories. They weren't really horror back then, but they're supernatural. Also, I have this chunkster. Really what I want this for is, again, this is classic works from women writers. This is the Canterbury Classics edition, and I want to read some poetry out of this. So there's Life, Stars, and Dreams, and they're each by a different Bronte sister. There's The Silly Novels essay by George Eliot. Cousin Phyllis by Elizabeth Gaskell is in here. Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti, which would also count for my was supposed to read for another Victober challenge. One more collection. This is the Classic Horror Tales. This is the Word Cloud collection edition. Look at those end papers. Those are so cool. Okay, so this has The Case of Lady Sannox by Arthur Conan Doyle. This has The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. And I've heard Henry James counts and he doesn't count and he counts and I don't know. That's one I've been meaning to read though. Let's see what else. Oh, The Body Snatcher is also in here by Robert Louis Stevenson. I think that's in the other edition too. But anyway, there's a couple things in there that I think I might get to. And one I really, I've been wanting to read this for months now, and I finally picked up a copy, and that is The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. My only problem with this one is it's kind of big, and the print is really small in these editions, if you can see. I really like them though. They fit really nicely in my hands, and I find them comfortable to read from. But yeah, this one, I've never read Wilkie Collins before. And if you don't know, this one has some like kind of eerie undertones to it. Supposedly there's some like references to like escaped people from the asylum. Yeah, so this sounds really intriguing to me. I've never read Wilkie Collins, so I'm really keen to get to one of his. And this seems really like on the mark for Halloween reads, like a gothic eerie feel. And yeah, so I'm excited to give this one a try. Next, one I bought last year for Victober is Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. And of course, this is very popular in pop culture. This is a study on like split personality. It's supposed to be one of the best gothic books, and I really love gothic literature. of course, there's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Mr. Hyde has like these murderous tendencies, and it's supposed to be kind of like to look at like the darkness of humanity, but that there's also light. And yeah, so I'm interested to see how that juxtaposition works in this book. It sounds like something I would be really interested in, because I definitely believe that there's good and evil in everyone, and it's just which of those sides you decide to nurture. Okay, now I have another novel by Elizabeth Gaskell. This is Mary Barton. This one, I believe, is more to do with the working class. This has to do with a factory daughter, and yeah, so don't read the back of these. There's tons of spoilers on them. But anyway, this is the vintage red spine edition. So yeah, so I've heard really great things about this one. I really love her writing. So I'm just really keen to see what it's all about. Now, another author that I started one novel by, but I never actually finished one by them, is Thomas Hardy. And I know this is one of his most famous, and so I figured to give him a chance, I really need to try this. So this is Far from the Maddening Crowd, and I hear that this is about a woman who she inherits a farm, and it's all about how like people don't believe that, you know, as a woman at the time, that that's the right thing for her to do, and it's about her suitors, and it sounds really intriguing. And I know that there's an adaptation to this, so I think this may be one that I do get to, because one of my favorite things about reading classics is to be able to read the classic and then watch the adaptation and kind of make like a whole evening of it. Now, the last three things I have are things I started and haven't finished yet. I haven't decided whether I want to go back and start at the beginning or pick up where I left off. So one that I've been working on recently is The Claverings, and that's by Anthony Trollope, and I'm really enjoying that one so far. I just haven't really had time to dedicate to it. But that one seems to be about a young man, and he's trying to decide which direction his life is going to take, and it almost gets derailed by this love affair. And anyway, it seems really interesting. And the other one, you can see I got a good chunk, is Deerbrook, and this is by Harriet Martineau. And I was really enjoying this. It's about two sisters, and my second favorite book of all time is Sense and Sensibility. So I really liked that feel to it, the sister relationship. And I really like there's a, she's like the school mistress or like the governess for the children in this book. And I really liked her character. So I was really interested to get some more about her. But yeah, like I said, I just got busy with other readathons and things, and I haven't had a chance. So I would love to finish this, but I may start over because I was really loving this, and I don't want the time that's gone to take away my enjoyment from it. And then I was also working on the Cranford Chronicles last year by Elizabeth Gaskell. I finished the first story in here, which is Mr. Harrison's Confessions, and then I think I only had like 40 something pages left in Cranford, and then My Lady Ludlow is the last one. Yeah, and again, I just got busy with other readathons and other buddy read type stuff, maybe. I'm not really sure, because I was really enjoying this, and then when I reorganized my bookshelf, I put it away, and I haven't gotten back to it. So maybe I'll get back into this one. I think this one I would just continue because I really remember kind of what was going on, and I had finished Mr. Harrison's Confessions, so I wouldn't need to reread that. So I'm out of breath. Those are all the books I have for my Victober TBR. I just really want to thank Katie and Kate and Lucy. I love this readathon, as many people on BookTube do, and I'm so grateful to have a month long to read these beautiful novels and to have other people to discuss them with. I'm really excited. I actually almost wanted to start reading a short story today, but it's not here yet. It's coming. I think it's tomorrow. So yeah, so hopefully I'm filming this on the last day of September, but hopefully you'll get this soon. And yeah, I just hope that you're going to participate in Victober, and let me know what book that you're most excited to read, and also Let me know if any of these books that I showed is one that I really need to get to. Like if there's something on here that you're like, drop all the other ones, read that. Let me know. That's all I had for you today. Thanks so much for being here with me. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.